Talk to the staff at the modern Fire Island Lighthouse gift shop, and they'll tell you about the heavy oak doors slamming shut when the building is entirely empty. They'll mention the distinct sound of frantic footsteps pounding on the metal grating high above them. The stories describe a shadowy figure pacing anxiously inside the lantern room late at night, and a mad, hollow laughter echoing down the massive spiral staircase in the dark. The specific details in these sightings mirror the documented logistical failures and geographic isolation that defined this stretch of coastline. Behind the shadows and echoes lies a history of the people stationed here, tasked with securing one of the most dangerous shipping lanes in America. Looking at the 17th century geography of this coastline, the Dutch were the first Europeans to systematically map the area. They identified 4 distinct natural inlets along the barrier island where small boats could safely navigate from the rough Atlantic into the calmer bay. The Dutch word for the number 4 is veer. When English settlers arrived later, they struggled to read the archaic cartography. They saw the word veer on the old maps, misread the text, and accidentally translated it into the English word fire. By 1653, Isaac Stratford established a grueling, isolated commercial whaling station here called Whalehouse Point. Local crews would scan the horizon for waterspouts, drag boats across the dunes, and spear the massive animals offshore before hauling the carcasses up onto the sand to boil down their blubber for lamp oil. Eventually, the near-shore whales were hunted to depletion. At the same time, transatlantic shipping traffic increased. The shifting sandbars just off the beach began catching incoming merchant ships, tearing their hulls apart and transforming the island into a graveyard for sailors. The natural layout of the coastline was so inherently deadly to maritime commerce that the government realized human intervention, specifically large-scale engineering, was an absolute necessity. In 1826, the government attempted to secure the inlet by building a 75-foot octagonal lighthouse. They constructed it using blue split rock imported from the Connecticut River, but the structure was an engineering failure. It was far too short, meaning ships out at sea couldn't spot the beam, and during fog or bad weather, the light was completely invisible. That inadequacy was proven during a brutal storm around 1850. An inexperienced ship captain spotted the dim light through the heavy rain, misidentified it as a beacon off the coast of New Jersey, and accidentally ran the ship aground directly into the sandbars. The merchant ship Elizabeth was torn apart in the surf. Among the passengers who washed overboard and drowned was Margaret Fuller, a famous American literary critic, writer, and the first female correspondent for the New York Tribune. Normally, the deaths of working-class sailors barely registered in the press, but the high-profile drowning of an elite socialite and intellectual sparked massive public outcry, forcing Congress to immediately appropriate $40,000 for a highly advanced replacement. Within a year, this massive new structure was erected. Standing at 168 feet tall, more than twice the height of the original, it was built from heavily reinforced red brick. The upgrade came with a specific logistical cost. To build the foundation platform for the new tower, the construction crews had to completely demolish the original, well-insulated keeper's corners. Work halted for the winter, leaving the lighthouse keeper, his wife, and their young daughter with nowhere to live except a flimsy, uninsulated wooden shack out in the freezing dunes. As temperatures plummeted and severe winds battered the beach, the young girl fell violently ill. The family sent for a doctor from the mainland, but the Great South Bay had completely frozen over. The thick ice made boat travel impossible, stranding the doctor on the opposite shore for 3 days until the child died. The technological triumph of the new lighthouse, which would go on to save countless ships, was built directly on top of a devastating, preventable personal tragedy. In the immediate aftermath of the girl's death, her mother took the body back to the mainland for burial. She never returned to the island, abandoning the keeper entirely. He stayed behind because the fires had to be kept burning. This meant enduring intense, solitary physical labor, constantly hauling whale oil up the stairs to feed the multi-wick first-order Fresnel lens, a complex dome of angled glass prisms designed to concentrate the light into a single piercing beam, all night, every night. According to the local history, the crushing isolation and the fresh grief of losing his entire family slowly drove the solitary keeper mad as he paced the floors of the massive new tower. Eventually, residents on the mainland noticed that the powerful beam had gone completely dark. When a crew sailed over to investigate, they found the keeper had hanged himself from a rope tied to the trapdoor at the very top of the spiral staircase. Those frantic footsteps on the metal grating and the heavy slamming doors reported by modern visitors trace back to the keeper's documented final days alone in the tower. Despite its grim origins, the 1858 lighthouse succeeded in its mission. The light stayed on, preventing further mass casualties on the sandbars and safely guiding hundreds of thousands of immigrants into American harbors over the next century. Whether the paranormal reports are genuine manifestations or simply the mind playing tricks in an old, drafty building, the historical weight of this location remains. This structure stands as a record of that human sacrifice, a physical monument to the cost of claiming the edge of the ocean.